As previously reported, Nicki Minaj and her husband, Kenneth Petty, are the targets of a harassment suit filed by Jennifer Hough. Jennifer Hough accused Kenneth Petty of rape in 1995, and he was eventually convicted. He served 4 years in prison for the offense, and he is also a registered sex offender. Nicki Minaj is still supporting her husband Kenneth Petty and challenging Jennifer Hough. Lawyers for Nicki Minaj claim Jennifer Hough lies about harassment claims and highlights alleged inconsistencies. Jennifer Hough allegations. Last week, the internet was buzzing about the famous rapper's public aversion to vaccinations and some of the ridiculous misinformation, trolling she spread as a result. A situation like this could appear to be a minor blemish for an entertainer who has captivated audiences for over a decade and is usually on the right side of the debate. However, it appears that more lies and misconceptions from the newlywed Mrs. Petty were resurfacing. The Real, a daytime talk show, aired an exclusive interview with Jennifer Hough, a black woman who has accused Minaj's husband Kenneth Petty of raping her in 1994. On Wednesday, Petty was arrested, charged with first-degree rape, and sentenced to 4.5 years in prison after pleading guilty to attempted rape at the time. Hough is now suing both Minaj and Petty for threatening and harassing her for speaking out about her assault. She has even claimed that Minaj tried to bribe her with $500,000 in order to prevent her from discussing the incident with Petty further. Sigh, none of this is acceptable. And whether you're a Barb who adores all things Nicki, you have to admit that your favorite has some explaining to do. To begin, Minaj has already played her hand by attempting to discredit Hough with information that was later revealed to be false. Minaj had told the public lies about Hough prior to her husband's appearance on national television in an attempt to gain sympathy for him. During a 2019 episode of her Queen radio show, for example, Minaj told listeners something that he was wrongly accused of doing when he was a 15-year-old, all because he didn't have $7,500 to bail himself out. Because you don't have that kind of money in the hood, and neither does your family. And when the alleged accuser wrote a letter to the judge requesting that these recanted statements be taken into consideration, she was allegedly told that she would be imprisoned for 90 days. To compound matters, she added, "But white is right," giving her fans the impression that Hough was a white woman. She's black, falsely accusing her husband of rape within a criminal justice system that unfairly punishes black men. In other cases, Nicki Minaj has previously responded to comments on her Instagram, claiming that Hough was a former girlfriend of Kenneth Petty, despite the fact that Hough has repeatedly stated in interviews that the two never had a relationship or sexual encounter prior to her alleged assault. Minaj filing against Jennifer Hough. According to TMZ, Nicki Minaj has filed legal documents in response to a harassment lawsuit filed by the accuser of her husband Kenneth Petty. Jennifer Hough, Petty's victim, filed a lawsuit against him and Minaj, accusing them of harassing her in order for her to retract her allegations that Petty raped her in a 1994 incident. According to new court documents, Hough is lying for a payday. Minaj's filings include alleged evidence in Hough's story inconsistencies, such as texting Minaj after changing her phone number to avoid harassment, and the claim that Minaj's team offered her brother $500,000 to avoid harassment. Yet she retracted her accusations. In writing, overall, Minaj's team claims Hough is suing for financial gain, while Hough maintains her claim of harassment, witness intimidation, and intentional infliction of emotional distress by Minaj and Petty. Nicki is brother on rape allegations. Nicki's willingness to go to such lengths to discredit a rape victim says a lot. And to be honest, we shouldn't be too surprised. In 2015, Minaj spent $30,000 on her older brother Jelani Merritt's wedding, who was later sentenced to 25 years to life in prison in 2020 for multiple rapes of an 11-year-old girl. Minaj consistently defended him prior to his sentencing, even paying to bail him out of jail shortly after paying for his wedding in 2015. Nicki and Tekashi on child sexual performance. In 2018, she doubled down on her collaboration with controversial rapper Tekashi 69 in the song Fifi, just before he was sentenced to 4 years probation on charges of using a child in a sexual performance that year. "I wanted him to perform with me at the VMAs," Minaj said at the time. And somewhere along the way, he didn't get permission from the powers that be to perform. "I don't want anyone to think for a minute that I wouldn't invite him to perform his hit song. I want everyone to be familiar with my persona. I fought hard." "It is what it is," Nicki said of the controversy. "There's nothing you can tell me about someone I know. That's the way it is." Nicki's loyalty. So maybe that's just how it is for Nicki with her husband and brother as well. Perhaps her blind loyalty to those close to her has caused her to ignore the obvious facts, while the rest of us are starting to notice. It's unfortunate that, at a time when black women accusers are already being silenced in the industry, to see someone like Minaj, who has previously shared that she has been in abusive relationships with men, do this is a low blow. Whatever her reasoning, Nicki Minaj has definitely lost a fan in myself and others who thought she was better than this. Her music was good, but she should have stood in solidarity with the victims. Petty being arrested for failing to register as a sex offender. Even if the entire world is aware that someone is a sex offender, the law requires that a sex offender register as a sex offender. That's the harsh reality that Nicki Minaj's husband, Kenneth Petty, discovered after failing to register in California, and he's now been indicted by the federal government. According to TMZ, Petty was arrested on November 15 during a traffic stop in Beverly Hills, and the LA County DA charged him with failing to register as a sex offender in California after moving there with Minaj. He is already registered in New York. He was released on bond at the time, but it appears he did not register after the fact, and Petty turned himself into federal marshals on Wednesday and was taken into custody. Petty's 1995 conviction for first-degree attempted rape and subsequent manslaughter conviction are public knowledge, and in the past, Minaj has retaliated against celebrities who have called him out, including Meek Mill and Wendy Williams. Jennifer Hough says she's being threatened. Jennifer Hough is speaking out again after suing Nicki Minaj and her husband, Kenneth Petty, for alleged harassment. Hough, who accused Petty of rape in a 1995 case that resulted in Petty's conviction for first-degree attempted rape, appeared on The Real on September 22 to detail her allegations against Minaj and Petty, whom she claims tried to bribe her and her family in order for her to recant her rape accusation against Petty. "I'm tired of being afraid," she said to Adrienne Houghton and Garcelle Beauvais, her co-hosts. Regarding her current lawsuit, Hough stated that she received threats from Minaj associates after continuing to refuse to retract her accusation. "The most recent incident occurred when one of their associates placed $20,000 on my lap, and I kept saying no," Hough explained. "The last message I got was that I should have taken the money because they're going to use it to put a price on my head." The lawsuit details the alleged $20,000 bribe, but the bounty is a new claim. "You can't intimidate people to make things better for you, no matter how much money you have or what your status is," Hough added. And that's exactly what they did. Minaj and Petty have yet to publicly respond to the lawsuit, and their representatives have not responded to requests for comment, according to The Real. Meanwhile, Petty pleaded guilty on September 9 to failing to register as a sex offender in California as a result of his attempted rape conviction. He was charged in March 2020 after failing to update his registration when he moved from New York to California with Minaj and initially pleaded not guilty, but reportedly struck a plea deal. According to Hough's lawsuit, Minaj first contacted her around the same time as this charge. Many saw Minaj's recent misinformation campaign on Twitter against the COVID-19 vaccine as an attempt to divert attention away from Hough's lawsuit and her husband's criminal history. On January 24, Petty is scheduled to be sentenced on the charge, which carries a minimum sentence of 5 years supervised release and a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison. That's all we had for today. Be sure to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the subscribe button below. Bye. See you in the next video.